Hi guys, welcome ulit sa YouTube channel natin. Now today we will try to discuss a new topic. We have the approximate method to analyze these building frames from the lateral loads. Anyway, meron tayong dalawang method, portal method at saka cantilever method. Now for this video, portal method lang muna. Don't worry, yung next video natin na cantilever method, same lang din yung date of upload nito. So ilalagay ko na lang yung link sa description para sa cantilever method. Okay? Now again guys, these methods are just approximate methods. Okay, now this is part din sa course outline natin kaya i-discuss ko. So anyway, in this video guys, ilalagay ko yung concept sa portal method, yung mga basic assumptions, okay, assumptions to analyze these building frames. And of course, meron tayong example problems para mas maintindihan nyo at saka para makita nyo kung paano itatanong at saka kung ano yung isusolve sa problem na to. Now, same pa din guys, as I try to create the video, I'll be addressing my students, okay, sa theory of structures na class namin. So anyway, feel free to use our lecture videos sa online classes. And of course, I hope na nakatulong din ako sa mga students yan na nagtitake ng online classes, especially sa theory of structures. Now, I think yan lang muna. Yan lang ata, di ba? So I think let's start. By the way, don't forget guys to like and subscribe sa YouTube channel if ever na nagustuhan nyo yung video. Anyway, mas marami kasing like, I think mas ma-recommend ni YouTube yung video natin. So, yeah, yan lang ata. So, let's start guys. So anyway, kaunti lang yung introduction natin actually sa portal method sa topic na to. So, bale yung yung assumptions muna. Okay? So, yung nasa right niyo is actually a building frame. Nasa left naman, nasa left. Yung nasa left ng screen niyo, this is actually an example sa building frame natin. So, single story 2-bay building frame. And then yung nasa kabila, these are actually a typical portal frame. Okay? Portal frame natin. Now, from the name itself, na portal method, ang gagawin natin guys is we will try to analyze itong building frame na to as series of portals. Okay? Parang superposition of portals lang. Now, again, since this is an approximate method, meron tayong mga pinadaling mga assumptions. Okay? So, by the way guys, importante din pala itong topic na to, especially sa mga civil engineering dyan, kasi meron kasi kayong subject na earthquake engineering, di ba? Meron kayong earthquake engineering or kung ano mang tawag doon, basta related sa earthquake or sa seismic. Ito kasing mga lateral loads natin, okay? Ang iba dyan, actually, galing yan sa mga seismic loads. Yan. Galing yan sa mga seismic loads. For example, draw ko muna dito, ha? Okay, so for example, meron kang building frame na ganito. Okay, 3-story 2-bay building frame. Yan. Okay, dito sa theory of structures, ang gagawin natin, guys, is we will just analyze. Okay? So, automatic, meron na kayo mga lateral loads dyan sa mga stories ninyo. Yan. So, for example, this is 20 kN, ganun, 30. Okay, and then ito siguro mga 40 kN, ganun. Okay, automatic, meron na yan yung mga lateral loads ninyo. But, okay, sa seismic or sa earthquake engineering ninyo, actually, kayo yung kukuha dyan. Kayo yung kukuha niya. Now, sir, paano naging earthquake loads yan? Bakit naging earthquake loads yan? Sir, bakit pag lumindol ba, sir, meron bang forces na, meron bang naka-apply na force dyan sa mga stories namin? Di ba sir, wala man kami nakikita. Now, actually, itong mga forces na to, hindi yan nandyan talaga. Okay? Now, galing yan dito sa ibaba. Galing yan dito sa tinatawag nating seismic base shear dyan. Okay? Now, itong seismic base shear na yan is actually distributed, okay, sa mga stories ninyo. So, since there is 20, 30, and 40, so ano yan? 90. So siguro itong seismic base shear niyo is actually 90 kilonewton. Okay? So ang gagawin niyo sa earthquake engineering is number 1, kukunin niyo yung seismic base shear. Okay? Ito, which is ito. Okay? Number 2, you will distribute ito. You will distribute yung 90 into dito. Okay? Now, pag-distribute niyan, yung instructor na niyo yung bahala. And then after nun, you will analyze the building frame. Kaya importante yung topic na to. Okay? So dapat especially sa mga hindi pa nakakuha ng earthquake engineering. Now, I think prerequisite yung theory sa earthquake engineering. So, kaya dito ko muna ituturo. Now, dito guys, ituturo ko lang is yung analysis. Okay, so yung pagkuha ng mga loads na yan, hindi ko muna ituturo. Okay, later na lang yan sa earthquake engineering ninyo. Okay, so kaya again ha, importante yung mga method na to. Okay, so anyway, balik tayo dito sa portal method guys. Now, sa portal method guys, we'll try to, I think, obvious na no, yung first assumption natin. So anyway, yung assumption muna natin. So, first assumption is, tingnan nyo, meron tayong mga inflection points sa gitna ng mga columns at sa gitna ng mga girders. Now, anong mangyayari dyan sa inflection points, guys, or sa midpoint, no? Sa columns at saka sa girders, meron tayong mga zero moment. Okay, so let's just assume na mga internal hinges dyan. Okay, meron tayong mga internal hinges sa gitna ng columns at saka sa gitna ng girders. Anong mangyayari yan, guys? So, pag meron kasi tayong mga internal hinges dyan, medyo mas madali na natin isusolve yung building frame natin. Kasi, alam natin no, na pag meron tayong internal hinges, wala tayong moment dyan. And then, we will actually use method of sections dito sa building frames natin. And then, mas maganda na mag-cut ka kung saan zero yung moment. Kasi you can actually sum up moments at that point, okay, knowing na zero yung moment dyan. Okay, mas madali, mababawasan yung mga equations natin o yung mga unknowns natin. Okay, so that is our first assumption. Again, ulitin ko, zero moment or internal hinges between, at the center of the columns and the center of the girders or beams. Now, yung next is ito. Now, from the name itself, no, portal method, so actually, we will try to analyze the building frame as series of portals. Now, itong nasa right side ninyo, this is actually a typical portal frame. Now, sa typical portal frame, guys, for example, meron kang lateral load dito, okay? Yung shear dito sa dalawang columns na to actually equal lang. Okay? Now, what will happen, guys, if we will try to analyze the building frame? For example, itong building frame na to. Notice na sa building frame na yan, parang dalawa yung portals natin. Di ba, tingnan nyo? Dalawa yung portals natin dyan. So, ang mangyayari, guys, para lang tayong nag-a-analyze din ng dalawang portals. Now, for example, guys, ito yung dalawang portal natin. Yan. Now, although dito, medyo separate, no, yung portals natin. Now, ano ba yung tamang term? Parang i-overlap. Now, try to overlap these two portals para maging ganito. Okay? So, ano yung masasabi natin? Pag i-overlap natin, okay, pag i-overlap natin yung dalawang portal na to, ang mangyayari, guys, yung shear sa gitna will be twice, no? Parang ganito, sandali ha. Di ba? Ito yung portal natin. Okay? Ito yung dalawang portals natin. Yan. Now, if sa figure natin kanino, sa building frame, actually, by the way, V yan, shear, and then shear dyan. So, dito guys, pag we will try to overlap these portals, yan, dalawa yan. So, ganyan, and then yung isa is nandito. Ay, sorry. Yan. Okay? Ang mangyayari guys, ito, V pa din to, di ba? Walang problema. This is still V, yan. Yung shear dyan, ay sorry. Kalimutan ko ilagay yung shear yan. Shear. Okay? Yung shear dito, V pa din. Okay? Yung shear dito, walang nagbago, V pa din guys. But, ang shear sa gitna, notice na since dalawa na yung, okay, dalawa yung parang naging columns dyan, no, na overlap, di ba? So, meaning guys, twice yung shear dito. So, actually, ganun lang guys. Yan yung second assumption natin para sa portal method. Okay? So, again, the first assumption, okay, you have an internal hinge dyan sa gitna. Okay, yan, internal hinge dyan, internal hinge dito, okay? And then, yung next assumption natin is ito. Okay, the internal hinges, okay, the shear at the internal hinges or the shear at the interior columns, interior columns is actually twice the shear at the exterior columns. Now, parang ganito yung, yan, parang ganyan, di ba? The shear at the interior column, ito, okay, is twice the shear at the exterior columns. So, yan lang guys, actually, yan lang yung assumptions natin para sa portal method. And then you can actually solve yung mga reactions sa ibaba, sa base, using method of sections, yung equilibrium equations natin, vertical, horizontal, and moments. Okay, now you can actually solve yung mga reactions natin using these assumptions. Okay, so ito yung nakalist. I think nilista ko dito yung assumptions natin. Ay, sorry. Yan. So anyway, yan yung mga assumptions natin. Again, dito tatlo, but anyway, yung number 1 at number 2, medyo the same lang. So number 1, yung first assumption natin, no, to analyze the building frame using a portal method, pag fixed, fixed yung support natin sa building frame. Number 1, meron tayong internal hinge sa center of each girder. Ito. Yan. Yan. internal hinge. Number 2, meron tayong internal hinge din sa center of each column. Dito, internal hinge. Yan. And then, number 3, yun nga, at a given floor level pala, the shear at the interior column hinges is twice that at the exterior column hinges since the frame is considered to be a superposition of portals. Okay? So, with this assumption, guys, I think pwede na tayong mag-solve ng example problem. Okay? So, let's try to solve an example problem, guys, para meron kayong idea, no, kung paano ba i-solve yung mga problems natin later on. Okay? So, let's check yung example problem natin. Yan. Okay, so ito yung example problem natin, guys. Yan. So, determine daw approximately the reactions at the base of the column frame shown. So, use of the columns pala, the frame shown. Yan, yan. So, use the portal method of analysis. So, we are actually asked to determine the reactions dito sa A, B, at saka sa C. Dito sa base ng columns. So, anyway, kung mapapansin nyo, this is actually fixed. So, tatlo yung reactions natin, guys. So, we have the vertical reaction, we have the horizontal reaction, and of course, yung moment reaction natin. Okay? So, anyway, again, 9 yung unknowns natin, no? So, baka isipin nyo, sir, ang daming unknowns dyan. Masosolve natin yan. Now, actually, guys, yes, you can actually solve this. Now, yun nga, gagamit tayo ng method of sections, saka method of, yun nga, yung equilibrium equations natin. So, anyway, ilipat ko muna, guys, yung column natin dito sa tablet. So, don't worry, guys, I'll do my best na gandahan na yung mga figures natin dito sa tablet para hindi kayo mahirapan. So, ito, no, 20 kilonewton. Yan. And then, ito is 30 kilonewton. Okay. And then, this is, I think yan lang, meron pa pala sa gitna. Uy, pangit. Yan. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, guys, to solve for this, itong mga reactions dyan sa ibaba. So, by the way, to solve for the reaction there, ang gagawin natin is method of sections. Okay? So, we will try to cut, okay? Cut natin yung column na to. Ito nyo, pwede tayong, di ba merong internal hinge dyan? Okay? Sa column na yan, merong internal hinge sa gitna. So, pwede natin actually i-cut, na pag nag-cut tayo nyan, we can actually consider this section. Okay? So, i-consider ko yan sa ibaba. So, again, ika-cut ko Ay, sorry. So, if, ganito, no? So, pag i-cut ko dito, guys, ilalagay ko na lang sa ibaba. So, ganito yung mangyayari. Yan. Okay? So, anong mangyayari yan, guys? So, meron tayong shear dito. Yan, meron tayong shear dito, di ba? Kasi pag nag-cut ka, maglalabasin yung mga internal forces, di ba? So, meron tayong shear dyan. By the way, palakin ko muna yan. Meron tayong shear. So, ilipat ko to. Ayan. Meron tayong shear dito. By the way, guys, para sa assumptions sa shear, tsaka sa moment, tsaka sa axial, ang shear, guys, just depende na sa iyo kung ano yung assumption mo. Basta, ang importante, kung ano yung assumption mo, dapat mag-stick ka sa assumption mo. Okay? Ano yung ibig sabihin ko? Tingnan nyo. Now, considering yung upper section, okay, ang shear ko is actually to the right. I mean, to the left. Tama ba? To the left ba sa monitor? Tama. To the left. Okay, now, if I will consider ito yung nasa ibaba, di ba action-reaction, dapat meron din yung shear sa ibaba with an equal value but opposite ang direction. So, if this is my shear dito sa J, tama ba? J, no? Tama? May shear sa J. Dapat, ang shear ko dito, tawagin ko tong, VJ? Shear J, no? VJ na lang ganun. VJ. So, dito dapat, meron din akong equal value ng VJ but at an opposite direction. So, tawagin ko tong VJ. Okay, ganun yun Hindi pwede na sa itaas, nag-assume ka na to the left. Okay, yung shear. Now, dito, mag-assume ka din sir, since papunta doon yung shear, dapat papunta din dito. Hindi, You are, I think, paulit-ulit na lang, no? Basta mag-cut ka, okay, you can actually consider yung left or right. Okay, basta tandaan mo lang, okay, na meron silang same, no? Yung reaction nila, same yung shear nila, but opposite dapat yung direction. Okay? So, anyway, lipat ko muna to. Yan. Okay. So, meron tayong shear din dito with a value VJ din. Okay? Now, shear, meron din tayong axial. Okay? So, ang axial, guys, ang mas maganda ay tuturo ko sa mga students ko, okay, para sa inyo to. So just assume, same din sa trusses, di ba? Di ba sa trusses sinabi ko sa inyo, assume all the members are in tension. Assume na away, okay, away from the body yung force natin. So same din dito. Just assume muna na away from the body or away from the member yung eggshell natin. In that way, anyway, if ever mali yung assumption mo, okay, you will have a negative value. And then alam mo na, uy, compression pala, parang ganun. Okay? So, anyway, I'll just assume dito. Yan. So, hindi ka na mag-worry, guys. If this is away from the body, so, gaya ng sabi ko, dito, away din to from the body. Yan. So, tawagin ko na lang yung AJ. Eggshell sa J. Ganon. Okay? So, yan yung mangyayari, sir. Bakit parang may kulang, sir? Wala kang moment. By the way, guys, hindi yan drawn to scale, ha? Baka magtaka kayo. Sa figure natin, tingnan nyo, sa figure natin, 6 meters. So, therefore, itong distance na to, yan, itong distance na to is actually 3m. Likewise, itong distance na to is actually, ay, sorry. Ba't ang hirap i-draw dito? Yan. Yung distance na yan is actually 3 meters din. Okay? Sorry kung hindi drawn to scale yung figure. Okay? Now, likewise, guys, okay, pwede natin ilagay yung assumptions na, yung reactions sa baba. So, dito, meron tayong MJ. Tawagin natin itong MJ lang muna. To resist VJ, MJ to. MA pala. Nasa A na kasi tayo. Point A kasi to. So, this is MA. Yan. And then, we have the reaction. Siguro, ganito na lang yung reaction ko. Assumption ko. So, paano ba to? RA na lang? RA? Or ano ba to? RAV. Yan. RAV. And then, of course, huwag natin kalimutan yung RAH. Yan. Okay? So, anyway, see, if makukuha natin to, you can actually solve this. You can actually solve this. Makukuha natin yung MA, di ba? We can actually solve MA if meron tayong VJ. Kasi summation of moment, okay, at A is equal to 0, clockwise is equals counterclockwise. Ano yung clockwise, guys? Ang clockwise moment is actually caused by the shear at J, di ba? VJ. So, that's actually VJ multiplied by 3. Okay, dito ako nag-moment, dito ako nag-moment. Ano yung clockwise, ano yung counterclockwise moment? MA. See? You can actually solve MA. You can actually solve MA, guys, if meron kayong VJ. Ang tanong, saan natin kukunin yung VJ? Di ba? And then, same din. You can actually, tingnan nyo, pwede ka mag-sum up ng forces vertical. Summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Ano yung upward forces? Consider lang ha, yung section na yan. Ano yung upward forces? Di ba? Yung AG. Di ba? AG is actually upward. Ano yung downward forces? RAV. See? You can actually solve RAV. Basta meron ka lang AG. Ang tanong, saan natin kukunin yung AG? Di ba? Yan yung mahirap. Same din dito. Same din. Ang RAH likewise. You can actually get RAH that is just equal to VJ. Okay? So, ang tanong, sir, saan natin kukunin yung mga internal forces na yan? Now, dito na papasok yung upper section. Ang gagawin natin, guys, is to get yung VJ at saka AJ, you will consider actually yung sections sa itaas. Okay? So, anyway, ito na yung gagawin natin. At least, meron ako yung idea, no, kung ano yung unang paano natin isosolve yung reactions. Ang tanong, paano natin isosolve yung mga internal forces dyan, immediate, no, dito sa okay, malapit sa mga reactions natin. So anyway, guys, sa portal method, guys, ang una nyo talagang masosolve is yung shear. Bakit? Kasi nga, meron tayong assumption dun. So first, you can actually solve shear. Okay? And then next, pupunta doon na, you can actually consider yung different sections para ma-solve ninyo. Now, sa cantilever method, guys, iba naman. Yung una nyo masosolve is yung mga eggshell loads, okay, sa column. Eggshell reaction sa column. Okay? So, anyway, ang gagawin natin dito, guys, buburahin ko muna to. Yan, buburahin ko muna to. Okay, likewise, ito din. Yan, buburahin natin yan. So, balik tayo dito. Yan. Uy, saan galing to? Yan. Okay? So, ang gagawin natin, guys, is ito. Yan. We will actually cut ito. I-cut natin to dito. Pwede natin itong i-cut dito. Yan, yan, yan. Yan. And then, consider the upper part. Diba? Pag i-consider ko yan, parang ang mangyayari, guys, is ganito. Tingnan nyo, ha? I-cut ko, ha? Uy, ba't ganun? Sorry. Yan. So, anyway, kakat ko. So, dito lang sa ibaba. Nandito sila sa ibaba. Yan. Okay? So, gaya ng sa assumption natin, ano yung shear dito sa gitna? Ano yung shear sa gitna, guys? Diba? This is actually 2V. Now, ako, ang assumption ko, obviously, yung 2V na yan, dapat to the left, to counteract the lateral loads. Yung lateral loads natin, papunta sa right, diba? So, dapat yung 2V must be, yung shear natin papunta sa left. Okay? So, anyway, papunta dito to. Yan. Okay? Likewise, meron din akong shear dito. But, yung shear dito is V lang. Okay? Now, likewise, dito din, sorry, meron din akong shear equal to V. Okay? So, you can actually solve the shear dito. Yan. Considering this, ito yung nasa itaas. You can actually solve that. Paano? Summation of forces, horizontal. Summation of forces, horizontal is equal to 0. To the right, to the left equals to the right. Ano yung mga to the left? Diba? V plus 2V. Diba? And then plus V. Isa, dalawa, diba? Apat na V. And then that must be equal to the forces to the right. Ano yung forces to the right? We have 20 plus 30. Okay? Therefore, the shear, balik tayo dito, the shear at JKL, yung JK at saka L, you can actually solve. Okay? So, ano yung V natin dito? That is actually 4V, okay, equal to 50. Okay? So, V, ano yung V natin? 1.25. 50 divided by 4. Yan, 12.5 pala, sorry. 12.5 kilonewton. Yan lang. Okay? So, therefore, guys, ibig sabihin, yung shear pala dito, paano ba to? Dito na lang, isusulat ko ulit. Uy, sorry. Lakihan natin ulit. Okay, so, tanggalin ko to. Ay, sorry. Yan. Okay, uy, sorry. Ibig sabihin, guys, yung shear dito is actually, yung VJ is actually 12.5. Yan, kilonewton. Dito naman, yung VK, that is actually K, yan, sa gitna. So, this is J, K, at saka L, no? Yan. So, yung VK, V sub K is actually 25. Kasi nga, 12.5 times 2, di ba? And then, yung VL is actually 12.5. Okay? So, I hope okay tayo dyan. Okay? So, yan lang. Now, sir, ibig sabihin, makukuha natin yung reaction sa ibaba. Tingnan nyo. You can actually solve the reactions dito. Sorry. This is actually VJ. Again, ha? Yung VJ sa itaas is the left. So, dito dapat pababa, the right yan. Okay? So, likewise, ito din. This is actually yung RH. Okay? Dito na lang. RH. RAH. Okay? And then, ito, we have, meron tayong moment dito. MA. Ang hirap isulat, guys. Ang liit kasi ng tablet natin. So, we have MA, and then ito, this is RAV. So, you can actually now solve MA, at pwede mo ding isolve ang RAH. Ang tanong, guys, sir, anong nangyari sa RAV? Paano natin, sir, isosolve yung RAV? Okay? So, anyway, guys, yung isulat ko muna lang dito. So, MA, paano ba to? MA, summation of moment at A is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. So, by the way, since pinutol natin yan, this is actually 3 meters. Yan. So, clockwise, guys, is VJ times 3 must be equal to the counterclockwise moment. Again, I am considering this section, ha? Ito yung section na kino-consider natin. So, yung counterclockwise moment is actually MA. Okay? Substitute natin, yung VJ is actually 12.5 times 3. So, that's actually, ano yan, 12.5 times 3 daw. Naku po. Yan, 37.5. MA. Okay, therefore, MA is actually 37.5. Yan. Okay? MA is 37.5. Likewise, yung RAH natin, summation of forces lang tayo, horizontally is equal to 0, to the right is equals to the left. RAH is simply equal to VJ. Okay? Wherein RAH is simply equal to 12.5 kilo. Uy, wala tayong label dito. Kilonewton meter. Yan. So, this is actually RAH is equal to 12.5 kilo Newton. Now guys, ang tanong guys, sir, paano natin kukunin yung RAV? Okay? Now, ang RAV guys is ganito. Saan natin makukuha yung RAV? Again, buburahin ko ulit to ha. Anyway, you can actually just rewind the video para makita yung solution. So, buburahin ko ulit to. At least meron na kayong idea guys kung paano natin kukunin yung mga reaction sa ibaba. Okay? So, tanggalin ko ito. Yan. Now, how can we solve guys? Paano natin isolve yung RAV? Now, you can actually solve RAV guys if you will consider ito. If you will consider this part. Ito. Putulin ko ulit. So, pwede natin ito i-consider ito. Ay, sorry. Yung nasa itaas ba? Kasi makukuha kasi nandito kasi yung RAV. Yan kasi yung RAV. Diba? Now, you can actually consider that. Ito yun, no? Pwede natin i-consider. Pag na-solve natin ito kasi yung hinahanap natin. Sana yun? Diba? Ito yung hinahanap natin dito sa ibaba, yung RAV. Now, you can actually solve RAV if you'll consider ito. This is actually ano yung tawag natin? AJ. RAV is actually equal to AJ. Now, to do that, you can actually i-cut natin to dito. So, putulin natin to dito. Dadaan tayo dyan. Tsaka dadaan din tayo dito. Ito yung i-consider natin. If we can actually consider that, then you can actually solve AJ. Okay? So, i-draw ko muna yung free body diagram natin para dyan. So, parang ganito yung nangyari, no? Medyo pangit na, guys. So, ganyan. Okay? So, bale, ano to? This is actually OJD, di ba? OJM pala, OJM. Okay? So, yung nasa gitna, gandahan natin. Yan. So, O, and then J, and then this is actually M. Tapos, yung distances nila, from our figure, we have 5 dito at saka 6 dito, no? So, 2.5 at saka 3. Okay? Sorry. Tama. 2.5 dito. 2.5. Dito naman sa ibaba, this is actually 3M. Okay? And then from D to M, ano yung from D to M distance natin? This is 8, so 4 meters. So 4M to. Yan, 4M. So ano yung mangyayari guys? So nag-cut tayo, no? Dito ko na lang ilalagay 4M. Yan. Ano yung mangyayari guys? Since nag-cut tayo, maglalabas na yung mga internal reactions, di ba? So anyway, again, dito ilalagay ko muna O. And then this is J. Yan. So dito ilalagay ko, ano nga ulit yung assumption natin dito? Pag ganito, no? Yung shear natin. VJ. Yan. Again ha, tinan nyo, sir, to the left, bakit to the left yan? Kasi dito sa itaas, to the left kasi yung VJ natin, di ba? Same man sila ng section na kinonsider. Now, yung next natin, yung AJ natin, okay? AJ natin, ganyan. So, ano yung AJ natin? Pababa, no? Again, gaya na sabi ko, away. So, dito din, may lalabas din actually dito. Tanggalin ko muna tong M. Yan. Dito is, meron tayong, same pa din, yung eggshell ko is, ganito lang muna. This is actually AM. Again, away ha, away. Just assume na away para hindi kayo mahirapan. Now, yung shear dito sa M, di ba hindi pa ako naka-assume? So, I will just assume na ang shear dito is paitaas. Anyway, yan naman yung first assumption ko sa M. Okay? So, if ever i-consider ko yung kabila, so dapat pababa na to. If ever ba i-consider ko yung kabilang section, pababa na dapat yan. Anyway, so this is actually VM din. Okay? So, ito naman, we have, same din dito. Ito lang muna yung assumption ko dito. Yan. Again, guys, ang assumption sa shear is actually very important, ha? So, this is VO, and then, same ba na, this is AO. Okay? Now, ang tanong, guys, sir, medyo naging mas mahirap man, sir. Diba? Parang naging Sir, parang mas mahirap na tuloy. I am just interested, sir, sa reaction sa A vertical. Now, sinabi mo, sir, na ang reaction sa A vertical is equal to AJ. Ito, sir, oh. Yan. Bakit mas naging mahirap na, sir? Yun nga, kasi kailangan tayo mag-consider no? Per section kasi. Okay? So anyway, how can we solve AJ? Okay? Okay, guys. Sorry, ang ingay kasi ng aso, kaya na-distract ako. Anyway, I hope na hindi na sila naririnig, no? So, how can I solve for AJ, guys? I can actually solve AJ if I'll try to sum up forces, no? Vertical. So, pag nag-sum up ako ng forces vertical, I can actually solve AJ. But ang tanong, guys, paano to? If I'll try to sum up forces vertical, kakailanganin ko, kasi itong VJ kasi nakuha na natin. Kailangan ko yung VM, yung VM at saka yung AO, di ba? So, paano ba to? So, hindi pwede, di ba? Now, tingnan nyo, pwede ako mag-sum up ng forces. What if dito ako what if mag-sum up ako ng moments, guys? What if mag-sum up ako ng moments? Sum up ako ng moment dito sa M. Okay? Summation of moments sa M. Tingnan nyo, mag-sum up ako ng moments sa M equals 0 kasi alam ko na 0 dyan. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise, di ba? So, ano yung iikot sa M? Itong VJ iikot, AJ iikot. Kailangan ko din yung AO at saka VO. So, paano yan, guys? So, same pa din. Di ba? Since kailangan natin yung AO at saka VO, punta na naman tayo sa itaas. Okay? Kailangan natin i-consider na naman yung nasa itaas. Ano yung nasa itaas niyan yung sa VO and AO? So, actually, guys, ang nasa itaas, ilipat ko na lang yung AO and VO. So, anyway, buburahin ko na lang to, ha? Buburahin ko to. Yan. So, ang nasa itaas na dyan is actually ito. Yan, no? Meron tayong ganito. Yan. Meron tayo dito. So, ito yung AO. Tsaka ito yung VO. Yan. Okay? So, tapos dito, meron din tayo dito. Meron tayong V. Meron din tayong eggshell dito. Yan, eggshell. Okay? So, this is actually point G. Yan. And then this is O. And then this is R. Yan. Yan. Yan sa itaas. So, sir, ang daming... sir, ang hirap na, hindi na namin alam. Okay? So, ganito na lang, guys. Okay? Yung, tuturuan ko na lang talaga kayo kung ano yung gagawin natin. So, at least ba, pinakita ko lang sa inyo yung idea na connected ba? Okay? Mag-cut ka, tapos connected yung mga values natin. So, ganito yon. Pag method of portals, guys, ang una nyong gagawin is ganito. Yan. So, para hindi na kayo mahirapan kung ano talaga yung gagawin ba, kung, sir, ano yung sunod, ano yung magkakat ka na naman, so mahirap na. Okay? So, to analyze the building frames, no, using portal method, the first thing you need to do is ito. Number one, for example, ito yung building frame natin, gaya ng nasa problem. Number one is, solve the shear at the interior columns first. Ano yung ibig kong sabihin doon? Dito, this is actually A, B, C. And then J, K, L, and then you have O, P, at saka Q. Now, you need to solve for the shear muna. Sa shear, saan yan, sir? Dito, isolve mo yung... Ay, sorry, ba't nawala? Yan. Isolve mo yung shear dito, dito, dyan. Isolve mo din yung shear dito, dito, at saka dyan. Now, yung shear sa JKL, na-solve na natin. Okay? Ang tanong, hindi pa natin na-solve yung OPQ. So, to solve the shear at OPQ, i-cut mo lang ito. Consider this section. Okay? So, same pa din yung ginawa natin kanina. Now, ano yung sunod? Okay? So, again, guys, na-solve na natin yung JKL. Again, first, solve the interior shears at the columns. The next one is ito. Consider the upper leftmost section. Asan yun? Ito, yung ba mga upper left at saka upper right? Ito at saka yan. You can actually consider those sections first. Bakit? Sir, bakit yan yung una nating section na i-consider? Again, may internal hinge yan, ha? May internal hinge. Bakit? Kasi ganito yun. Okay? Tingnan nyo, ha? I'll try to isolate point, anong point na to? Point G. Okay? This is actually point G. Okay? So, if I'll try to isolate point G, parang ganito yung point G natin. Okay, so point G, and then from our figure, that is actually O and R. Okay, so O and R. Okay, so again, nakat ko yung point G. Huwag kalimutan ha, yung lateral load natin na 20 kN dito. Dito kasi nagkakamali majority ng mga students. So, ang mangyayari, guys, is meron tayong shear dito. I'll just assume na this is actually going down. So VR. Okay, this is AR. By the way, ano yung gusto nyo? V ba yung mga naming natin? Pwedeng, depende na sa inyo. Nasanay kasi ako sa Shear V at saka yung eggshell load is A. So, ang iba kasi T. Ang iba naman, hindi ko alam. Siguro ito na yung gagamitin ko. Anyway, feel free to use kung ano yung variables na gusto niyo. So, this is actually AR. Okay? Now, likewise dito, di ba, assumption ko dito is VO. And then, this is actually AO. Okay? Now, gaya ng sabi ko, di ba, na-solve na natin yung VO. Na-solve na natin yung mga shear sa OPQ at saka sa JKL. So, ito, okay na to. Na-solve na natin to. Check. Yan. Na-solve na natin yan. Ang tanong, how can we solve for the other, okay, yung other mga unknowns ba? Okay? Now, notice guys na ilan yung unknowns natin maliban sa VO? Isa, di ba? Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Tatlo yung unknowns. Now, you can actually solve this, okay, this section using the equilibrium equations. Summation of forces, vertical, horizontal, and moment. Okay? So, you can actually sum up moments dito. Okay? Masosolve mo ang AO. Di ba? Magsama ka ng moment dyan, masosolve mo ang AO. Okay? And then after nun, once na-solve mo na ang AO at saka VO, pwede ka na mag-sum up ng forces vertical and horizontal to solve for VR and AR. And then after nun, guys, the rest will follow. Once tapos ka na, tingnan nyo, once tapos ka na sa Q, once tapos ka na sa, sa G pala, ito. Once tapos ka na dyan sa G, once tapos ka na dyan sa G, you can actually consider ito na naman. Okay? Or ito, consider mo to. Okay? Kasi, it will follow lang. Pababa lang yan. Walang problema. Okay? And then, pwede mo na i-consider to. Okay? And then ito. Basta, try to consider the adjacent. Okay? So, hindi pwede guys na, sandali. Ay, sorry. Burahin natin. Ay, no, wala lahat. Okay? Sorry. So, asan na yan dito? Okay? Di ba? You can consider either yung upper left or upper right. Depende na sa'yo. Pwede kahit saan dyan. Okay? Now, once tapos ka na dyan sa dalawa, you can actually consider an adjacent. Okay? Adjacent, dapat na adjacent section. Ano yun? Ito. Pwede ito. This is actually an adjacent section. You can consider that. Okay? Or, I think mas maganda guys na ito. Ito. You can actually consider this section. Kasi adjacent yan sa nasa itaas. Okay? Now, let's try to solve the problem using yung sinabi ko sa inyo ng mga gagawin. Okay? So, anyway, lipat tayo para mas madali, guys. So, paano ba to? Ilalagay ko to, no? So, ganito yung figure natin. Now, actually, guys, I am just interested sa reaction sa baba. Kaso nga lang, kung napapansin nyo, kailangan natin nung eggshell load. Okay? So, dito, dyan, and then ito. Okay, yan. So, tapos meron tayo dito. We have 20 kN. And then ito, we have 30 kilonewton. Okay? So, ito guys, na-solve na natin yung mga shear dito. Yan. Na-solve na natin yung shear dyan. So, ano to? J, no? So, this is actually yung shear. Lalagay ko na lang. Sandali. Tanggalin ko muna to. Okay. So, na-solve na natin yung mga shear dyan. That is actually ito, 25. Ito, 12.5. Ito, this is actually 12.5. Okay? Now, yung sunod, yung shear naman dito. Now, to solve for the shear here, ang gagawin ko guys is, I will try to cut itong section na to. Yan. Okay? So, anyway, ikakat ko ha. So, lipat ako dito. Okay? So, medyo mataas yung solution ninyo dito, guys, kasi marami kayong sections na i-consider. Okay? So, same pa din. This is V. This is 2V. And then, this is actually V. And then, this is actually 20 kN. Di ba? Ito man yung kanina. Yan man yung nasa itaas. Okay? So, I can now actually solve the shear dyan sa O, P, and Q. Okay, so summation of forces horizontal is equal to 0. To the right equals to the left. Ano yung to the right? 20 kilonewton. Okay, that must be equal to the left. That is actually V plus 2V plus V. Okay, so meaning that is actually 20 is equal to 4V, or V is simply equal to 5 kilonewton. Okay? Therefore, alam ko na yung mga shear dyan. So, this is actually, tagalin ko to ha. This is actually 5 kN. And then this is 10 kN. And then this is 5 kilonewton. Okay? Diba? Ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo. First, consider the shear. Okay, first, solve the shear at the interior columns. Once na-solve nyo na lahat ng shear sa interior columns, ano yung susunod na i-consider nyo? Consider the section at the upper left or upper right, okay, of your frame. So, ako, I'll try to consider first, ito na lang muna. Sandali, yan, ito. I-consider ko to. Okay, so magka-cut ako dito. Yan, okay, so anyway, paano ba to? Yan, okay, so ika-cut ko guys ha. So, ang mangyayari guys is ganito. Yan. So, again, hindi yan drawn to scale. So, paano ba to? So, this is 5 kN. Yan. And then this is, sorry talaga guys, kasi ang hirap mag-draw, okay, sa tab. Kasi baka isipin nyo, malaki yung tablet na. Hindi maliit lang yung tablet. Parang mas malaki pa yung kamay ko. Imagine that. Okay, tapos, kaya medyo malaki yung mga numbers niyo dan sa screen. Okay, so mahirap kasi magsulat dito. So anyway, dito meron tayong eggshell. Tawagin natin tong ano nga yun? AO pala, sorry. AO. So dito, ikaw na bahala kung ano yung assumption mo. Ako, I'll just assume na this is actually upward. So this is V from our figure. VR yan, no? So VR. And then, ito away. Okay, this is actually AR. Okay, so I can now actually solve for AO. Tignan nyo, summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. Upward, hindi pala pwedeng summation of forces vertical. Summation of moments pala, dito. This is actually point R. Summation of moment at R is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. Okay, so distances muna. This is 4M, this is 3M. Sir, saan galing yung 4M and 3M? From our figure. The distance from G to R is actually 4. Okay, kasi 8 kasi dito. So, 4 ito, and then ito. From J to O, that is actually, hindi pala yan 3. 2.5 pala yan, sorry. So, this is actually 2.5. Yan, 2.5M. Okay? So, sige, sama tayo ng moment sa R. So, clockwise. Ano yung clockwise moment, guys? You have AO, no? AO multiplied by 4. That is actually the clockwise moment. Ano yung counterclockwise moment? The counterclockwise moment is actually caused by 5. That is actually equal to 5 times 5 times 2.5. Okay? So, therefore, AO simply equal to, pwede kayong gumamit ng calculator, no? So, 5 times 2.5 divided by 4. Yan. So, you have AO na 3.125 kilonewton. Okay? So, after nyan, guys, gaya na sabi ko, after nyo na na-consider yung nasa itaas, yung JOR, yan, dito, ito. So, you can actually na consider yung nasa, nandito. Tapos ka na dito, di ba? Tapos ka na dito, yan o. Tapos ka na dyan. So, pwede mo nang i-consider ito. Okay? Okay, so i-consider natin yan dyan, ha? So, let's try to consider yan, yung naputol na yan. Sandali, ha? Yan. So, let's try to consider that. Dito ko na lang ilalagay sa ibaba para mag-adikit dito. So, ito yun, no? Again, lakihan ko muna kasi ang hirap talaga i-draw pag hindi malaki. Ayan. I think same lang sila ng size, no? Okay. So, ito, ililipat ko ha yung 5 kilonewton at saka yung AO. So, ang AO, guys, papunta na dito. Ayan. Okay, same pa din yung value niya is equal to 3.125 kN. Okay? Yung 5 kilonewton, guys, is papunta na dito. Okay? 5 kN. Again, action-reaction, ha? Huwag niyo kalimutan. And then, dito, same pa din yung assumption natin kasi dito sa shear is to the left, di ba? Sir, saan galing yan, sir? Yung points muna. Ano yung points natin dito sa figure? OD, JM. Okay? OD, JM. So, this is O, point D, and J, and M. Again, yung VJ natin, we assume doon na ganyan. Okay? So, yung VJ natin, ano nga ulit yung VJ natin? Di ba naalala nyo? 12.5. Ito, this is actually yan. Di ba ito yun? Ito yun, no? Yan. That is actually 12.5. So, ilalagay ko na lang muna. 12.5 dito. 12.5 kilonewton. So, ito, hindi ko to alam. Ito yung hinahanap ko actually. Sorry. Yan. AJ. Bakit hindi ko nalagay? Sorry, guys. Yan, AJ. Okay? So, actually, yan lang yung gusto ko. Actually, I am interested sa AJ. So, anyway, ilalagay ko na lang dito yung nasa M para mas by the way, distance muna, 2.5, this is 3, this is 4. Saan galing yan, sir? Yung mga distances na yan, yan, no? Okay, the distance from O to D is actually 2.5, D to J is 3, and D to M is 4. Okay? So, balik tayo dito. So, dito, again, assumption ko na lang, this is VM. And then, ito, meron tayong axial load for M. Okay? So, how can I solve for AJ? Kasi AJ kasi yung hinahanap ko. So, now, I can adjust sum of moments dito sa M. Ito nyo, summation of moment at M is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. Ano yung clockwise natin? We have, dito ako sa M ha, nag-rotate. Ano yung clockwise? Uy, may nakalimutan ako. Huwag natin kalimutan to, ito. Sus, nako po, hindi ko huwag nyo kalimutan yan. That is actually 30 kilonewton from our figure. Kasi sa figure natin, meron tayong 30 kilonewton load sa D. Okay? So, sige, lalagay ko lang. So, summation of moment at M is equal to 0. Clockwise equals counterclockwise. Paano ba to ha? So, ano yung mga clockwise moment, guys? Number 1 is 3.125. Would you agree? Ang 3.125, guys, is actually clockwise with respect to M. Okay? With a moment arm of 4. Diba? Tama? Diba tama man? Okay? Now, another clockwise is itong 5 kilonewton. So, plus 5, ang moment arm niya is actually 2.5. Ayo, para nakikita niyo. Okay? And then, ano pa? Itong VJ. Okay? Plus 12.5. Ay, sorry. Ang hirap talaga pag malit. Plus 12.5. Ano yung moment arm, guys, ng VJ? Ang moment arm ng VJ with respect to M is actually 3 meters. Okay, so again, statics lang to ha, 3 meters. Dapat tapos na kayo dito. And then, ano pa? I think yan lang lahat ng clockwise, no? So, ang counterclockwise moment, guys, is caused by AJ. Okay? So, this must be equal to AJ. Yan, AJ. With a moment arm of, ano yung moment arm ng AJ, guys? Di ba 4? Tama na, 4? Okay, so 4. So, yan lang. So, you can now actually solve for AJ. Okay? Solve daw natin yung AJ, guys. Check natin. So, 3 times 3.125. Sorry, mali pala. 3.125. 3.125 times 4 plus 5 times 2.5 plus 12.5 times 3, that must be equal to 4x. Okay? So, shift solve natin yung AJ natin. AJ is actually 15.625 kilonewton. Okay? Therefore, you can now actually solve yung reaction natin sa ibaba. So, again guys, ilalagay ko na lang ha yung column na yung section JA natin. So, nandito yun sa ibaba. Yung section JA. Yan, ilalagay ko dito. Yan. So, tapos, di ba fixed to dito? So, this is J. This is yung A natin. Okay? And then, this is actually 3 meters. Okay? So, again, ililipat ko yung AJ, which is papunta sa itaas na, with a value of, ano yun? 15.625. Tama man natin, no? 15.625. Okay? And then, yung VJ, pupunta dito, but that is actually today, right na. That is 12.5. Okay, so yan lang ata. And then we have the reaction M. Okay, MA. Anyway, solve na lang natin ulit. MA. And then you have yung RAH. Ito na lang, pag ganun. So, RAH. Okay, and then yung last is yung yan, RAV. Okay. So, ang sum of moments sa A, summation of moments sa A is equal to 0. clockwise is equals counterclockwise. So ano yung clockwise moments ulit? You have 12.5 times 3, which is equal to yung counterclockwise moment natin na MA. Okay, so again, dito ako nag-moment kaya sa point A. Okay, so MA is equal to 37.5. So 12.5 times 3. Yan, so tama lang, no? 37.5 kilonewton meter. Okay? So yan yung isang sagot natin. The next one is yung nasa ibaba, no? So yung nasa ibaba, we have RAV. So paano ba to? Summation of forces vertical muna is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Ano yung upward forces natin? You have 15.625. Now notice guys na ang RAV natin is actually upward din. Okay, so plus RAV. Okay, so that must be equal to the downward forces. So equal to ano yung downward forces natin? Now in this case actually 0. Okay, 0 yung downward forces natin. So meaning RAV is simply equal to a negative 15.625 kilonewton. Sir, bakit negative yung sagot mo? Again, walang problema guys, especially sa mga students ko. Negative answer means mali lang yung assumption mo. Ang assumption ko dyan, RAV is actually upward, which is mali. So that is actually downward. Anyway, check pa din yan kasi nilagay mo naman yung negative sign sa sagot mo. Meaning, mali yung assumption mo. But still, okay pa din. Okay? And then last is yung RAH natin. Okay? Summation of forces, horizontal lang tayo. Summation of forces, horizontal is equal to 0. To the right is equals to the left. Yan. To the right is equals to the left. So, ano yung to the right natin? We have 12.5, diba? Yung VJ natin. So, 12.5 is simply equal to the left na RAH. Okay? Therefore, RAH is equal to 12.5 kilonewton. Okay, di ba? Na-check daw natin, Vic, kung tama ba? Baka kasi mali yung sagot natin. Anyway, meron man tayong answer key dito. Yan. So, yan o. Tingnan nyo. O, di ba? Same lang tayo ng sagot sa kanya. Tingnan nyo. So, kaso nga lang, yung AY niya, okay. So anyway, pwede nyo kayo nang bahala kung ano yung mga name niyo sa reactions. Anyway, so yung AY natin is actually 15.625 or yung RAV, which is same lang tayo, no? Yung RAV natin is 15.625. Sa kanya is automatic downward na. So wala nang negative. Okay? Dito kasi sa atin, nag-assume kasi tayo na upward, so kaya meron pang negative. Okay, so anyway, sa kanya, 15.65. Yung moment natin is 37.5. Di ba? Same lang tayo. Moment is 37.5. Same lang tayo. And then yung AX natin, or yung RAH natin, di ba? Sa atin is RAH yan. Yung RAH natin is 12.5. Same din actually sa kanya, 12.5 kilonewton. Okay? So, let's try. So, I think okay tayo sa nakuha na natin yung reaction sa RA. Diba? So, let's try to solve naman yung reaction sa R. Okay, let's try to solve yung reaction sa B. So, dapat ito yung makukuha natin. 25, 75, at saka 0. Okay, let's check daw kung makukuha ba talaga natin to. Okay, so same pa din guys. Tingnan nyo. To solve for RB guys, so, kailangan natin i-consider yung nasa itaas muna. Yung pinaka-itaas, and then pababa, and then makuha natin to. Okay? Now, pwede na natin i-consider yung nasa gitna. Bakit pwede natin itong i-consider yung nasa gitna? Kasi, nakuha na kasi natin to. Adjacent kasi yung gitna dito sa kabila. Likewise, adjacent din siya dito. Okay? So, let's try to consider. Solve natin yung, yung nasa gitna. Now, yung nasa gitna, guys, before you can actually solve yung nasa gitna, it is best, no, na na-solve mo muna yung, kasi dito kasi sa, na-solve mo muna to. Now, ang tanong, na-solve ba talaga natin to? Actually, yes, na-solve natin, sir, but hindi exactly lahat ang na-solve mo dyan. Kulang ka pa ng VR and AR, di ba? So, let's try to solve muna yung VR at saka AR, guys. Okay? So, solving for VR and AR, paano ba to? Sama ba ko ng forces vertical is equal to 0. So, paano ba to, ha? So, summation of forces muna. Summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Okay, so check natin. Sa summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. So, ang upward forces natin, considering yung section na to, yan. So, solving for VR, no? So, ano yung upward natin? VR, of course. Okay, VR. Okay, so, which is, I think wala nang ibang upward, tama? So, VR must be equal to the downward force na AO, which is 3.125 lang din. Okay, so once meron ka ng VR, I think masasolve din natin yung AR. Okay, so to solve for AR, guys, sum up lang ako ng forces horizontal. Okay, so summation of forces horizontal is equal to 0. To the right equals to the left, di ba? Tama, to the right is equals to the left. So, ano yung mga forces to the right? To the right is AR. Yan. Ano pa? 20, di ba? Mayroon pa tayong plus 20. And then, ang to the left is itong, yan, yung 5 kilonewton. Okay? That must be equal to 5 kilonewton. Okay? Therefore, guys, AR is actually 5 minus 20 or negative 15 kilonewton. Again, walang problema kung negative. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Mali lang yung assumption mo. Okay? So anyway, nag-assume kasi ako na away from the body or away from R yung AR natin. Okay? So I think pwede ko na i-consider yung kabila. Okay? So let's try to draw muna ito. So i-draw ko yung nasa gitna. So balik tayo sa figure natin dito. Yan. Nasa na yan. Yan. I-draw ko to itong RHSP. Okay? Again, guys, I am now trying to solve for B, the reaction at B. Now, to solve for the reaction at B, again, you need to consider this. Itong cross na nasa gitna. Now, to solve for this, itong nasa gitna, kailangan din natin to. Ito. Consider muna natin to. Okay? Hindi pwedeng diretso ka agad dito. Okay? Kasi meron ka pa mga forces na unknown pa. Okay, so dito ka muna. Okay? So, yun nga, I'll try to draw that. So, parang ganito na yan. Ay, sorry. Ba't maliit? Yan pala. So, ganyan. And then, ito. So, this is actually R, H, S. Okay, and then this is actually, palakihan natin na kasi medyo maliit kasi. Yan. Yan. Medyo makapal na yung, so, this is R, S, and then H, and then this is actually P. Okay, distances from our figure. So, ang R to H is actually 8, H to S is 8, H to P is 2.5. Okay, so 4 pala, 4, hindi 8. 4M, sinasa gitna, and then this is actually 2.5M. Again, these are not drawn to scale. Okay? So, dito guys, di ba meron tayong nakuha ditong shear kanina? Dito. This is actually VP. Ano yung VP natin dyan? May nakuha tayo kanina. Di ba? So, balik daw tayo dito sa figure natin dito. Yan. This is actually, yan o, yung 10 kilonewton na yan, yan yung VP mo actually. This is, di ba P? This is, sorry, R. Bakit R yun din ako? Yan P. Yan o. That is actually R, H, and then ito is S. Yan. Okay? So, that is actually P. 10 kilonewton. So, pwede ko itong ilagay dito. Dito. Okay? So, that is actually 10 kilonewton. Okay? So, ang sunod guys is, ano yung ibang mga forces na alam na natin? Okay? So, ito, balik tayo dito sa figure natin. Balik tayo dito. Ito, hindi ko to alam, no? This is actually AP. Yan, hindi ko pa alam yan. Okay? Yan actually yung hinahanap ko. And then, ito, meron din ako dito sa kabila, yung sa R natin. Sandalihan, dito. Ano nga ulit yung nasa R natin dito? Ano yung VR at saka AR? So, ang VR ko is actually, tingnan nyo, ang VR ko dito, sa figure na yan, is going up. Okay? Ang VR ko dyan is going up. Therefore, dito, dapat, ang VR ko dito is actually going down. Again guys, importante yan. Pag nagkamali ka ng lagay, pag inilagay mo dyan na ang VR is going up pa din, mali ka na. Okay? 100% may mangyayari na sa solution mo. Magkakamali ka na. So always na, equal but opposite ang direction. Okay? Considering the different sections, adjacent sections. Okay? So this is now my VR, which is equal to, ano nga ulit yun? 3.125, tama di ba? So 3.125, tama. 3.125 kN. again, ba't ang liit? And then last is yung AR ko. Ang AR ko, ano yung assumption ko sa AR? To the right, di ba? To the right. So, dapat yung AR ko dito, dapat to the left na. Okay, so ito, meron na siyang, yan, to the left na. With a value of, dapat stick kayo sa value ninyo, na negative 15. Importante yan, ha? Na negative 15. So, negative 15. Negative 15. Okay? So, kilonewton. Lalagyan natin dyan. So, pwede na natin, I think pwede na natin i-solve yung AP, guys. Di ba? Pwede na natin i-solve yung AP. So, to solve for AP, guys, by the way, lalagyan ko na lang dito. Again, assumption ko to, ha? Upward to. Sir, bakit dyan, sir, hindi ka na nag-check kung upward ba o downward? Yung yung VS at saka yung AS. Hindi na ako nag-check sa VS at saka sa AS. VS, ang AS is ganyan. Hindi na ako nag-check sa VS kasi nga, yan pa yung first assumption ko. Now, if I'll try to consider yung kabila, dito na ako, dapat alam ko na ang VS dito is going down. Diba? Naintindihan ninyo? Yan na, dapat intindihan nyo yan. So, dito sa first na assumption ko sa VS, pwede kong ilagay niya na upward or downward. Ako yung bahala. Basta sa next, since I already assumed the direction of VS previously, dapat, okay, dependent na yung assumption ko sa next, no, na VS, dapat opposite yung direction sa kabila. Okay? So, I can actually sum up moments sa S to solve for AP. So, summation of moment at S, nyo, summation of moment at S is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. Okay? Clockwise is equals counter. Ano yung clockwise moments natin sa S? Clockwise moments, you have VD, di ba? VD is actually, dito ako nag-moment, ha? Dito ako nag-moment, guys, dyan. VD is actually clockwise, no? With a moment arm of 2.5. So, that's 2.5 times 10. Okay? Meron pa ba ibang clockwise? I think wala na, no? So, that is equal to, yan, dapat equal yan sa counterclockwise moments. Ano yung mga counterclockwise moments, guys, with respect to S? So, yung counterclockwise, you have AP at saka VR. So, this is actually AP multiplied by the moment arm na 4, and then yung VR na 3.125. Ang moment arm niya with respect sa S is actually 8M. Okay? So, with that, you can actually solve AP, guys. Okay, so I hope okay kayo sa mga moment arms. Okay, so check na natin. 2.5 times 10, that must be equal to 4x, and then plus 3.125 times 8. Okay, so shift solve natin. Yan, 0. Meaning, yung AP natin is actually equal to 0. Ganun lang. Okay? Now, anyway, guys, we will be needing VS and AS later on. So, I think mas maganda na i-solve na lang natin dito pa lang. Okay? So, meron akong AP na 0. So, summation of forces na lang, vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Ano yung upward? We have VS. Okay? Ang downward forces is VR and AP. So, by the way, this is 0. Okay? So, VR plus AP. Okay? So, VS is simply equal to, ano yung VS natin? VR is 3.125. And then AP is 0. So, meaning VS is 3.125 kilonewton. Positive, ha? Positive. Yan. Okay? So, I think okay tayo dyan, no? And then, ano pa ba? Yung AS muna. How to solve for AS? So, AS, sum up ako ng forces horizontal. So, summation of forces horizontal is equal to 0. To the right equals to the left. Okay? Ano yung forces to the right? From my figure, the forces to the right are AS. Diba? AS, ano pa? Yan lang ata, no? AS lang. So, this must be equal to the forces to the left. Which is, I have yung AR ko. This is, AR yan. AR pala to. Yan. Yung AR ko, and then plus VP. Okay, VP. Okay, so yung AS ko, guys, is simply equal to, ano yung AR ko? Negative 15. Ay, medyo pumangit na. Ang hirap. Lakihan natin. Yan. Negative 15 plus, ano yung VP ko? That is actually 10, no? 10. Okay? Therefore, AS is actually equal to negative 5 kilonewton. Meaning, mali lang yung assumption ko. Okay? So anyway, I think okay na tayo, no? Na nakuha na natin ito. Yan. Nakuha na natin yung mga reactions dyan. Check na natin dito sa given natin kung tama lang ba. Tingnan nyo. Yan, no? Tingnan nyo. I think same lang, no? Tingnan nyo. From our figure, tsaka dito, tingnan nyo, ha? Ang VR, which is 3.125 sa kanya, sa atin, that is actually 3.125 din. Now, ang AR, guys, sa kanya is 15 kilonewton. Okay? But that is actually to the right. Okay? Na, sa atin, negative 15. Kasi nga, to the left kasi. Same pa din yung sagot natin. Okay? Likewise, yung... saan naman tayo? Yan. Likewise, yung... tama. Yung 10 kilonewton na shear is same lang din sa atin. Tingnan nyo, 10 kilonewton din to. Diba? 10 kilonewton. And then ito, yung SY niya, 3.125. Same lang din sa atin na VS. Tingnan nyo yung VS natin, no? 3.125 din. Okay, VS is actually 3.125. Ang AS niya is, ang AS natin is negative 5 to the right. Sa kanya, tingnan nyo, positive 5 but to the left. Okay? So, I think okay na tayo. Since okay na tayo dito sa itaas, you can now consider yung nasa ibaba na naman. Ganun yun, ha? Ganun yung flow ng solution, guys. But, okay? Before you can actually consider yung nasa, before you can actually consider this, itong nasa, itong cross sa gitna, you need to solve muna yung itong sa kabila. Ang tanong, sir, di ba na-solve na natin yan? Yes, na-solve na natin to, but meron kasi tayong kulang na mga values. Ano yung mga values na yun? Okay, so anyway, balik tayo dito. Yan. So, I'll try to consider, ha, yung malaking cross sa gitna. So, i-draw ko muna. Okay, so ito yun, ha. Asan na yan? Yung MPEKN. Okay? So, transfer ko muna to. Sorry. Ano yan? Again, this is not drawn to scale. MPEK. And then this is actually N. Okay. So, ano yung distances nito? From our figure, that is same pa din, 4, 4, 2.5, at saka 3. So, 4. Importante yung figures, ha, para sa moment ninyo. 2.5 pala. 2.5. Importante yung mga distances pala natin. At saka 3M. Okay? So, same pa din, guys. Ilipat ko yung mga forces ko na na-assume. Anyway, same, ang eggshell, walang problema, guys. Ito yung maganda kasi sa eggshell, you don't need to check. Always ka lang na ganito. Kasi ganito naman talaga yung assumption natin yan. Away talaga yan, away. Hindi yan magbabago. Ang kailangan mo lang i-check yung mga shear natin yan. Away yan. Walang magbabago dyan, away yan. Kaya, minsan, mayroon na tayong mga negative values. Now, ang shear natin yung hindi alam. Now, alam ko, yung shear dito sa K is actually to the left. Kasi yan yung nakita natin kanina, di ba? K, the shear at K, ito yung malaking, di ba? Yan yung malaki, di ba? Sana yun, yan, no? Is actually 25 kilonewton. Ito yun, no? Yan. 25, yung malaki. Okay, so 25 kilonewton. So, ilalagay ko na lang dito. So, ito yun, no? 25 kilonewton. Yan. Now, ano pa yung alam ko dito? Ito. So, di ba? This is actually P. AP pala, AP. This is actually AP. But, nakuha natin ito, no? AP is actually equal to 0. Nakuha natin ito kanina. Now, check natin yung shear. Na baka isipin nyo na, sir, ang shear dyan, sir, di ba ganito? Na hindi, ha? Check ko muna yung nasa itaas. Tingnan nyo yung nasa itaas sa P. Di ba? Yung shear nyo sa VP is actually to the right. To the left. But that is considering the upper section. Pag punta ka na sa ibaba, yung sa lower section, which is same din at point P pa din, but different section, dapat opposite na yung assumption mo. So, dapat to the left na to. Ito, to the left. Ilalagay natin to the left. Yan. Okay, so this is now my VP. Okay, which is equal to 10 kilonewton. Okay, now ang problem natin is tatlo lang yung unknowns natin dapat dito, no? So, sir, ang dami pa sa nyo, wala tayong AK. Okay? Asan na yung iba dito? Asan na yung AM? Diba? Asan na yung VM? Now, yung AM at saka VM, dapat na-solve na natin yan. Bakit? Ito kasi nandito yan sa kabila kanina. Kaya sinabi ko sa inyo na dapat tapusin natin to. Dapat isolve natin dito. Yung VM at saka AM, dapat natapos na natin yan. So anyway, let's try to solve for the VM and AM, guys. Okay, anyway, lagay ko na lang dito yung AJ na 15.625. Yan. So, I'll try to solve for AM and VM, guys. So, burahin ko na lang to, guys, ha? Ito, buburahin ko to. Now, to solve for VM and AM, I can actually sum up forces vertical and horizontal. Okay? So, sum up ako, guys, ng forces, summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Ano yung upward forces from our figure? Yan. So, upward forces, you have yung AO natin, which is 3.125. 3.125. Yan. Ito. Okay? The other one is... wala na, no? Tama, wala na. So, meron pa pala VM plus VM. Okay? And then that must be equal to the downward forces. Ang downward forces natin is AJ lang, which is 15.625. Okay? Therefore, VM is actually equal to 15.625 minus 3.125. Okay? So, VM natin is 12.5. Okay? Kilo Newton. Now, to solve for AM, I think, sum up lang tayo ng forces horizontal. Forces horizontal is equal to 0. To the right equals to the left. Okay? So, yung forces to the right, ano yung force natin to the right, guys? You have yung 5 kilonewton. Okay? 5 kilonewton. So, ano pa? Yung 30 kilonewton, wag yung kalimutan. 30 kilonewton. We have AM, to the right din kasi yung AM, plus AM. By the way, guys, A stands for eggshell, ha? AM, and then yung last is, I think wala nang to the right, no? So, equal na lang sa to the left. Which is, ang to the left natin is actually VJ na 12.5. Okay? So, you can actually now solve your AM. Ano yung AM natin dito? 5 plus 30 plus X, that must be equal to 12.5. Okay? So, negative 22.5. Negative 22.5 kilonewton. Okay? So, transfer natin yung shear. Tingnan nyo, yung VM natin dyan is upward, di ba? Okay? So, dapat downward na yan pag consider natin yung kabila. So, this is actually now downward. Yan. So, VM, which is equal to, nakalimutan ko, ang VM natin is 12.5 pala. 12.5. 12.5. Yan. Okay. And then our, tama no? 12.5, tama. And then our AM is actually negative, Negative 22 sorry. This is actually AM na negative 22.5 kilonewton. Okay? So, I think pwede na, di ba? So, pwede na nating i-solve, guys. Uy, may nabura. Ano tong nabura? Ano? Yan pala. Yung shear natin. Okay, so, I think pwede na tayo mag-solve, guys, sa K. Dito sa AK pala, AK. Okay? So, pwede ako mag-sum up ng moments dito, guys, to solve for AK. Okay? Sum up ako ng moments dyan. So, anyway, this is NX. NX, AN pala, AA. Okay. So, pwede pala, guys, X at Y na lang kayo. Depende na sa inyo kung ano yung numbering ninyo. So, I think mas maganda. Kasi, mahirap kasi, guys, pag X tsaka sa Y kayo, hindi nyo maalam kung shear ba yun or eggshell. So, mas maganda kasi pag ganyan na alam nyo kung shear ba or eggshell. But, pwede pa din, guys, pwede pa din na ganito na yung gawin nyo. So, pwede yung NX at saka siguro this is NY. Okay? So, depende na sa inyo. But, baka kasi malito kayo na yung X, dapat ba shear ba? Kasi kung mapapansin nyo, yung X dyan, hindi yan shear. Eggshell yan. Na pag sa ibaba, hindi din, yung mga X din sa ibaba, pwede din hindi eggshell, actually, pwedeng shear din. So, ako, para hindi ako malito, kasi usually kasi yung tinatanong sa problem is, what is the shear at this point? What is the shear at that point? So, at least may idea. Meron akong sign ba? Okay? So, again, eggshell to. Tawagin ko na lang AN, eggshell N, and then this is shear at N. Okay? So, yan lang. So, sum up ako ng moment dito sa n guys. So, summation of moment at n is equal to 0. Paano ba to? Yan. Summation of moments at n. So, sama ko ng moments sa n is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. So for AK. Okay? So, ano yung clockwise moment ko guys with respect to n? I have AP na 0, diba? So, walang problema. Wag na tanggalin. So, yung VP is actually clockwise, no? So, 10. Ang VP ba? Ito. That is actually causing a clockwise moment. So, 10 multiplied by moment arm na 2.5. Yan. Okay, 2.5. Ano pa? Okay. Yung 5 kilonewton, yung shear, yung VK, is actually causing a clockwise moment, you know? So, plus VK, or 5, multiplied by the moment arm na 3. So, isa, dalawa. So, I think yan lang yung mga clockwise. So, equate natin yan sa counterclockwise. So, ano yung mga counterclockwise, guys? Obviously, AK is causing a counterclockwise moment. So, AK multiplied by 4. Okay? So, and then last is yung VM, clockwise moment, counterclockwise din. Ito, yan, yung VM na yan, counterclockwise moment din. So, that's actually plus 12.5 times 4. Okay, so AK, pwede natin isolve ang AK. Check ko daw kung tama ba. 10, 2.5, 5, 3, and then AK is, ano yung AK natin? AK is 4, tama? And then 12.5 times, hindi pala. Yung moment arm ng 12.5 is actually equal to 8. Okay? So, 8 yan, guys. Don't worry, sinadya ko yun. So, 8. Anyway, so, AK, I think we can actually now solve for AK. So, 10 times 2.5. Yan. And then plus 5 times 3. Then, that must be equal to 4x. Okay, plus 12.5 times 8. Okay, so shift solve natin. So, ano yung AK natin? AK is actually negative 15. Tama ba to? Check na natin, be. Okay. Kaya pala, yung shear pala natin sa VK, nabura kasi yan. Kanina, hindi yan 5 kilonewton, guys. Nabura kasi yan. So, meron yang 25 dapat yan. Okay, so ayan yan. 25 dapat yan. Balik tayo dito. Again, the shear at VK, guys. Sorry na nabura yan, nabura. Asan yung VK natin dito? Yan. So, ito yung VK natin, ha? That is actually 25. Hindi yan 5. Yung 5 natin kanina is nandito. Okay? Yung 10 pala yan nun dyan. So, hindi ko napansin. So, 5 yung VK natin. Sorry. Ito. So, if VK is 25, so this is actually 25 yan, no? Tama? 25 times 3. Clockwise. Okay. So, palitan natin to ng 25. Ito. So, again, shift solve natin. Yeah. So, AK is actually now equal to 0. Okay? So, ang napakataas ng dinaanan natin, 0 lang pala. Okay? So, anyway, once 0 na yan, so pwede na, by the way, anyway, kailangan natin yung VN at saka AN mamaya. So, isosolve na lang natin. Sama tayo ng forces vertical. Okay? Summation of forces vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Okay? So, ano yung upward forces? We have AP na 0. Okay? VN. So, VN is actually upward. Tanggalin ko muna to. Okay? So, anyway, i-erase ko na lang to. Anyway, AK is equal to 0. Nakuha na natin. Okay? So, dito na ako mag-sum up ng forces. Vertical is equal to 0. Upward is equals downward. Ano yung upward forces? I have AP plus VN plus AP plus VN na pala. And then, yung downward forces, I have yung going down is AK, which is equal to 0, at saka plus yung VM, which is 12.5. So, cancel. Ang AP cancel. Therefore, VN is actually equal to 12.5 kilonewton. Okay? VN is actually 12.5 kilonewton. And then, paano ba to? Yung AN, so for AN, guys, I'll just sum up forces horizontal. So, summation of forces horizontal is equal to 0. To the right equals to the left. Ano yung mga to the right? I have VP. Ano pa? I think yan lang yung to the right ko, di ba? So, ang to the left, guys, I have AM equal to AM plus AN at saka plus mali pala. Meron pa pala akong to the right. VP pala at saka AN. AN is actually to the right then. So, that must be equal to the left. Okay? Yung to the left natin is VK and AM. Okay? VK plus AM. Okay? So, yung VP ko, guys, ano yung VP ko? I have 10 plus. Ang AN, ano yung AN natin? AN is, hindi, yan yung unknown, AN. Okay? Ang VK natin is 25 plus AM natin, ano yung AM natin? Negative 22.5. So, negative 22.5. Therefore, you can now actually solve for AN. Okay, solve na natin yung AN, guys. 10 plus X and then equal to 25 plus negative 22.5. Okay, so solve na natin. Yan, negative 7.5. So, negative 7.5 yung AN. Okay, so anyway, guys, negative meaning mali lang yung assumption natin. Okay, so anyway, guys, nasolve na natin yung AK, di ba? Nasolve na natin yung ito sa gitna. By the way, check nyo. I think tama yung sagot natin. Tingnan nyo. Yan o. So, ito yun na. Ito yung nasa gitna. Tingnan nyo. Ay, sorry. Yan. Yung AP natin is... Yung AP natin is 0, di ba? O, tama. 0. Wala tayo. Yung shear natin is positive 10 to the right. So, same din dito. To the right din. 10 kilonewton. Tingnan nyo, yung AM natin is negative 22.5 but that is because to the left yan. So, dito, positive lang sa kanya kasi to the right. Okay? So, anyway, again, pwede talaga yan makamali kayo sa assumption. Walang problema. Okay? Book kasi to kasi alam niya kasi na, ito pababa. Ito to the right, to the left. So, okay na siya. Tayo hindi natin alam na to the right ba o to the left. Okay, maliban na lang doon sa mga shear sa column. Obvious naman na ang shear sa column must resist the lateral loads. Ang lateral loads natin to the right, the shear at the columns must be to the left. Okay? So, anyway, yan. I think same lang tayo ng sagot, no? 12.5 din sa kanya. 25. So, 25 din. KY is 0. AK natin is 0. Tama. I think tapos yung NY niya is 12.5, 7.5 yung sa atin. Tama, 12.5 at saka 7.5. Okay? So, let's now consider ito, yung nasa ibaba. Kasi we are just interested sa reaction, no? Napakataas na. Tapos reaction lang pala yung hinahanap. So, idodraw ko yung column B. Okay? At least yung kalahati, no? Ng column B. So, that is actually, ayan, this is K. And then this is B, di ba? So, this is B. And then this is 3M. Okay? So, MB, same ba din? MB. I have the RBH. And then I have the RBY. Okay? So, again, I'll transfer VK. I-transfer ko ang VK, guys, at saka AK. So, ang VK ko sa itaas is actually to the left. So, dito, to the right na to. Okay? VK, which is equal to 25 KN. Okay? And then yung AK ko is going up then. Opposite. Anyway, 0 man yan, so it won't matter. Okay? So, I can now solve for the moment at B. So, summation of M at B is equal to 0. Clockwise is equals counterclockwise. Ano yung clockwise moment ko? Ano yung clockwise moment natin? You have VK multiplied by 3M, no? 3. That must be equal to the counterclockwise moment. Ano yung counterclockwise moment natin? We have MB. Okay? So, MB is equal to, ang VK natin is 25, di ba? So, 75 kilonewton meter. Okay? And then, yung RBY natin obviously is equal to 0 kasi AK is 0. And then yung RBH natin is obviously no, that's actually equal to VK na 25. Kasi yan lang yung to the left. Yan. Okay, so check na natin dito. Diba? 25. Tingnan nyo. 25. Tapos sa atin is 25. Then 0. And then 75. Yan. 75. Yung moment natin is 75 din. Okay? So, I think guys, pwede na tayo huminto dyan. Medyo mataas na, no? 1 hour and 30 minutes na. So, pwede na tayo huminto dyan. Anyway, rest assured, no? Ang pagkuha natin sa reaction sa C, kailangan kasi natin yung reaction sa C. Ang pagkuha sa reaction sa C, guys, same pa din. Before you can actually solve, okay, the reaction at C, okay, before you can solve the reaction at C, you need to consider yung, yung QNFL. But before you can actually consider this, you need to solve muna yung SIQ na section. Okay? So, yan lang ha. Ang technique talaga niyan, to solve for this, yun nga, gaya ng sabi ko, ulitin ko ha, i-draw ko muna. Yan, ulitin ko. Summary tayo. Okay? So, again, summarize natin yung natutunan ninyo. Portal method, number 1, meron tayong internal hinges sa gitna ng columns and beams or girders. Therefore, you can actually cut. Pwede kang mag-cut doon, okay? Kasi nga, 0 yung moment. Tapos yun nga, mas madali i-solve pag 0 yung moment. Number 2, twice yung shear. Okay? Twice yung shear sa interior columns, sa exterior columns. Therefore, ang una mo talagang masosolve, guys, dito sa problem na to is yung mga shear sa columns. Ito talaga. Yan yung una mong masosolve. Yan. Number 1 is ito, shear at columns. Once na-solve mo na guys ang lahat ng shear sa columns, consider the upper right or upper left. So meaning, you can consider this or ito. Depende na sa iyo kung ano yung i-consider mo. After mo ma-consider yan, consider an adjacent, okay? Again, adjacent na adjacent. Hindi pwedeng ito. Bakit? That is not an adjacent sa dalawa. Ano yung adjacent na section niya? Pwedeng ito. Diba? Or, pwede ding, sorry. Pwede ding, ito. Okay, but normally guys, ito talaga yung una. Ito talaga, yan. Ito talaga. Yan yung i-consider mo muna. Okay? After nyan, pwede ka nang mag-consider siguro nito. Okay, or ito. And then ito. And then, yan, it will follow. Pwede na, mag-follow na to. Okay? So, yan yung gagawin ninyo ha. So, I hope okay tayo dyan. So anyway, meron tayong sa mga students ko, don't worry, meron tayong mga sample problems. Meron pa tayong mga maraming sample problems and meron tayong live discussions, no? If ever meron kayong tanong sa topic na to. Anyway, sa mga subscribers ko, please feel free to comment down below yung mga tanong ninyo. Okay, kung sir, anong nangyari dito? Ilagyan nyo lang ng timestamp kung anong saang time kayo medyo nahirapan, then I will try to explain kung bakit ganun. Okay? So, same pa din guys, maraming salamat sa mga nanood. I hope nakatulong ako, and please guys, if nakatulong yung video na to, don't forget to like and of course subscribe. Okay? Para sa mas marami pang mga content. I'm actually planning to do mga school vlogs, kaso nga lang since pandemic, hindi pa ako pwede pumunta sa school. So, mga tutorial vlogs lang muna. Later on, pag nandun na tayo sa school, yung mga vlogs ko, kasali na yung mga students ko. Okay? So, yan lang muna. Maraming salamat sa panonood. And of course, see you sa next video, which is yung cantilever method. Okay? So, maraming salamat.